All right, we are live. Cool. Awesome. If you are in the Twitch chat, please say hi. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from. And we're just going to kind of hang out for a few minutes because people are probably looking at an ad right now. So we'll kind of hang out and wait for people to get through the ad. But I'm very excited about today's show. It's going to be really good stuff today. We're going to get to see some witches and some magical shit. And content, really? They are? I think that's, yeah. No, that's always the case, Azimuth. He was saying comments on Twitch are still set to verified accounts only. Oh, wait, verified accounts. So I don't know how to change that right now. So it is what it is. People need to, it's not, I don't know how to fix it. So it is what it is. But if you are in Twitch and you're able to chat, say hi, let us know you're watching so we know we have an audience. But by the way, my name is Cariel. This is my channel. I've been doing live improvised shows every Wednesday and Sunday at 6:30. Every show is completely different. First of all, they're improvised, so we're making all this shit up. But second of all, they're just a completely different concept every time because that's fun for me. So I just literally wake up in the morning. I'm like, what do I want to do today? And then we do the thing. So we've seen like a Muppet town hall meeting. We saw a support group of minor deities, and we did a superhero narrative so far. And tonight's show, hey Vic Ford, how's it going? Where are you watching from? While Vic is answering, tonight's show is going to be this gentleman to the side of me, Gary Carson. He did a series of interviews with some local witches, so we're going to be seeing those soon. But I just wanted to hang out with you guys and see who's watching first. But then we'll start the show in just a couple minutes, give people a chance to get in here and get through the ad. Anyone else out there watching, chime in. Let us know you're there. We are broadcasting out of Austin, Texas. Most of the people you're seeing here watch play with through the Hideout Theater, which is in downtown Austin. The theater's closed right now. So we're experimenting with some live virtual improv. And we've found it to be surprisingly fun, despite the obvious limitations of it. So that's been really cool to kind of experiment with this creative outlet. Gary, well, before we get started with the interviews, will you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you get involved with this paranormal interviewing shit?
Absolutely. No, I really am super excited to show everybody these interviews that I took on. I have long been interested in the supernormal and the para activities sort of a deal. And I'm just really looking for an opportunity after I watched a few documentaries a few years back. I just felt like it was the perfect medium to go out and find some individuals who could do these interviews with me and educate me a little bit about witchcraft. I live in my parents' basement. And so I'm just looking for an opportunity to get out and hopefully be able to pay some rent to get my own place.
So I got to ask you, were you scared at all meeting with these witches? Was it scary? Did you feel threatened, or did you
Yeah,
feel?
yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. There were some times, Carol, that I was a little bit fearful. I didn't really know what kind of witches to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if they were all going to be nice or friendly or aggressive or overly sexual or anything. I just didn't know what to expect. I was hopeful that I would get some good information to help educate people and learn for my own sake, and then also be able to uh, profit off of this opportunity.
Sure, sure. Well, we're here to support you, and we're very excited to meet these witches. So I'm going to bow out. I'll let you introduce your series of interviews, and we'll get started with those interviews. All
That's
right.
good.
It was nice to meet you, Gary. And
Great.
good
Thank you
luck
so
with your
much.
continued exploration of the para activities and the supernormal.
Thank you so much. Well, again, thank you all so very much for coming and listening to these chronicles that I've put together, we spent the last several months meeting with a number of individuals to learn about witches and witchcraft, and to see what they were all about, just to kind of help educate the general population about their world. So the very first person that I met with that I'd like to share with you was a very fascinating individual that I met with. Their name was Esmeralda, Queen of Water and Fire. And so I'm going to put this up for you guys now, and let me know what you think. Hi, Esmeralda.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so very much for spending some time with me today to just teach me a little bit about yourself and explain to me a little bit about where you are and what you're doing and what your story is. We're just trying to document for posterity the life and times of various witches.
I am happy to share my gifts with those around me, with those who are interested. I think many witches get a bad rap. We are deemed as something evil, and I would like us to have a better image, or more truthfulness out there, I should say.
I understand. So tell me a little bit about what you think is the #1 misconception about witches. We'll just dive right into it.
That we are evil and we want to do bad things to other people. Really what we are is, I personally like to help people move from this realm to another realm. Some call it death, heaven, or hell, or whatever it may be. I like to help people go from one side to the other.
Interesting. So would you say it's more of a permanent transition from one realm to the next, or are people able to kind of flip-flop back and forth? I've never transitioned myself personally, so that's why I ask.
I first of all want to say the term flip-flop implies that it is something silly, but it's not.
Oh,
Death is a serious thing.
yes.
And there are many deaths. Once you die, you will die again and again and again. But that means also that you will live again and again and again.
Well, that's really fascinating. I certainly apologize if I offended by using the term flip-flop. I personally love flip-flops, and I did not mean it to be anything negative in any way. So I apologize about that. Moving on, I noticed in your title was that you are the Queen of Water and Fire. I assume that is a formal title. Could you tell me a little bit about how you obtained the throne?
I was elected by my Wiccan sisters, and that is because I have control of all water and fire.
Really?
Yes. All of the light that is in your basement, your parents' basement right now, I'm controlling that. Yeah. All of the water going through your toilets and your sinks, I'm controlling that.
That's amazing. So kind of like, just going to paraphrase a bit for some of my audience that's going to be watching these reports later. So you're kind of like 2/4 of the Captain Planet team. You're able to control water and fire, but not earth and air. Is that correct? Is there another?
Are you making, is this a silly thing to you again?
Absolutely not. I'm a very serious journalist. This is a very important and serious thing to me. I'm just trying to wrap my simple mind around this. Is there another royal member that is control of the other elements?
Yes. Professor Wigglebottoms is in control of earth and air. Okay. And together sometimes Esmeralda and Professor Wigglebottoms like to join forces.
Oh, excellent. That's great. So were you born into witchcraft, or were you did you learn this as a study or?
We are all born into witchcraft. But some people do not want to accept that.
Interesting. So is that a thing that as someone like myself who does not necessarily know my knowledge of witchcraft, it is latent inside me, and then I could, by studying it and practicing it, I could become a...
All you have to do, my friend, is accept it. Accept your magical insides.
So could I be like, maybe not a king, but maybe like the Duke of Plasma or something that's not one of the four main elements, but it's not really like a formal matter type, but I don't necessarily need to be the king of it. Is there like ascension of royalty? Is that how that goes?
You can be the concubine of the king of plasma.
Oh, man, I like that idea. I'm gonna look into that. So if I wanted to begin my studies and learn about witchcraft, I'm starting with no knowledge whatsoever. I'm just like the most basic level person who does not even really believe in witchcraft, that stage. Where do I start? Is there a TED talk to take, or what's
Oh,
the
my
best?
my friend, you have already begun. The first thing to do is to go under the earth, which you have done by going into your parents' basement. And now you must rid yourself of all lights and doorways down there. You must lock yourself in the dark in the earth. And then you must lay there for 3 days. 3 days.
Wow.
And in that time, you will simply lay in the middle of the floor. You must pull your floorboards up so that you are laying on the earth. The earth will come through you like an antenna, and it will tell you which way to go.
Oh, that's amazing. So just so
Be naked.
Okay. Okay. So just so I'm going to take notes here. First, I've got to rip up the floorboard, bust through the concrete, get to actual dirt.
Yes.
Then I need to close out all the doors and windows, all means of escape, strip down, get naked, and just lay in the dirt for 3 days.
That's correct. You will find yourself there.
That's fascinating. And that's the way that you went about learning witchcraft.
Mm-hmm. I was born that way. My mother lay in the dark on the earth, and she let me come out, and then she lay my newborn body on that earth for 3 days, and I emerged as the queen of water and fire.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So was she like the queen mom of water and fire?
The queen mom. She was the queen mom of water and fire.
Sorry.
She died in childbirth so that I could go on for the royal crown.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm very, very sorry.
That's... Not be sorry. Death is just another place where you die again and again and again because you live again and again and again.
That's incredible. Okay, well, last question, just to kind of open mic for you, to give you a moment to just say, whatever's on your mind, to be able to spread the good word of witchcraft to our audience. Do you have any specific things that you wanted to point out or bring to our attention?
I would like to give the gift of freedom to all people by saying that if you follow these steps of laying your body in the dark earthen place and freeing your mind and your soul and your body, taking your clothes off and being naked and free, you can find what you are on the inside. It is now, right now, merely just a tiny little fire. It's burning right there. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it?
I do see it.
then you are one step towards yourself, my friend.
Thank you, Esmeralda, Queen of Water Fire, so very much for showing us this little bit of yourself, and just, I really appreciate it. And if it's okay with you, I might keep you on speed dial in case I need to come back with any follow-up questions.
Of course.
Thank you so very much for your time today. I appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Right. Oh my gosh. So everyone, I was very inspired by Esmeralda's commentary on the initial steps on how to become a witch. I was very concerned about breaking up the floorboards of my parents' basement and digging up all that dirt. Frankly, I'm pretty lazy. And so I wanted to get a second opinion on some of this. So I reached out to another witch. And so I got their take on things. So I'm going to play you guys this next interview I had was with actually a wizard called Azimuth. And so I'm going to play that for you guys now and get another take on this matter. Hi, Azimuth.
Hello.
Hello, this is Gary Carson. Thank you so very much for meeting with me today.
Oh, of course, yes. You were calling about the apprenticeship?
Yes, absolutely. I was just curious to learn a little bit more about witchcraft, and I thought I'd reach out to you. I saw your advertisement as one of the third ranked Yelp witching schools here in Austin, and so I thought I'd reach out to you. Do you have a few minutes to kind of go over this stuff with us?
Sure, yes. I believe we have some time before they hatch.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just keep me posted. If we need to circle back, it's no worries. Just thank you so much for your time. So I'm going to start off by asking you, probably, I don't mean to be offensive. I just am ignorant, and so I like to learn. Is there a term, whether it be witch or wizard or warlock, any of these terms that are interchangeable? Are they gender specific? Is there one that's kind of like it would not be appropriate for me to utilize?
So witch is the term used for everybody. I am a wizard, which is a profession amongst the witches. It's because I offer my enchantment services to people, mortals such as yourself.
Okay, cool. So like if I wanted to, I could hire you to do magic for me, almost like an old gun.
Well, I mean, you probably couldn't, but I mean, some people, yeah, it's very expensive.
I gotcha. Right. Assuming that I was like super duper rich, I could afford it. But like you're
yes, and you would have to have connections within the magical world, and you know, I have lots of potential clients. I mean, there's a whole backlog. I mean, I don't think that I could do anything.
Sure, no.
But
just to be clear, I'm not needing to hire you. I'm just trying to learn so I understand how the process works. But really, I was just more concerned. I didn't want to misaddress someone.
But if you want something magical done, I might have an opening if you're interested.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we'll certainly...
I can give you a discount, possibly.
Okay. So if I wanted to say conjure a spell, or have you conjure the spell, because I wouldn't be able to do it, but I said, hey, I'm tired of having to go get my hair cut. I would just like my hair to permanently be this one style.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of cost would something like that be?
I could probably do that over $300, but it's a very complicated spell, and you would have to come by every month or so for several sessions for the magic to take place.
It's not just a one-time over and done with thing.
No, the magic is very complicated.
I believe you. That's great. So Azimuth, tell me a little bit about how you came into the world of witchcraft and spellbinding.
Oh, I was born into it, seventh son of a seventh son sort of deal. And my father was trying to find the fountain of youth, and his father before him was trying to find the fountain of youth, and his father before him, and so on and so forth. And so I am continuing that quest to find the fountain.
You have not yet found it.
Oh no, but we are very close.
Interesting. Do you use like Google Earth? Does that help you?
Yeah, I've visited all of the fountains in the city of Austin. Every single fountain, Littlefield Fountain, the fountain near the Capitol, most of the water fountains, and I know that none of them are the Fountain of Youth. So
yeah,
we're narrowing down on the fountain.
But you think it's for certain in the city of Austin proper?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm almost definitely kind of sure.
Interesting. Cool. So is your plan then, once you have seized the Fountain of Youth, are you going to try to bottle it and sell it like some high-priced Evian water, like sell it to the Nestle company, or what's your intention once you discover the Fountain of Youth?
That's a good idea. It's very magical. So obviously the uses of it would be very difficult for someone like yourself to understand without having pored over the magical tomes and all of the knowledge required to become a professional wizard like myself. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Again, I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of explain terms and just understand these things to me. I'm a simple man with a simple understanding of these things, so I'm don't ever want you to think that I'm going to be able to fully grasp and comprehend the things you're talking.
No, that is perfectly fine. I no experience is required for the apprentice position.
So tell me a little bit more about this apprentice position. The only thing I know is like a Sorcerer's Apprentice from Disney. Mickey Mouse fighting the mop bucket.
Okay, well, yeah, you have to work up to reanimating a mop, but that can take years of practice. I'm more interested in. I have a list of questions, if you don't mind.
Of course, yes. I love being interviewed.
Do you have any experience cleaning newt cages?
I have had a box turtle named Reginald for quite a long time. And I would assume it's pretty much the same.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you being experimented upon?
I'd say low, honestly. I'm really not super down for medical experiments. Since I was in college, I had to pay for my tuition, and I mean, it wasn't good.
Do you have any friends that you might be able to convince to help in the research?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to think about that, and I'm going to try to put together a list of some folks. And are you still located at the same spot there in the strip mall?
Yep. Just
Burnett.
Yep, Burnett, next to the Ross.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, I really appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and reach out and see if I can find some friends, and we'll try to come by and maybe help apprentice you, or be your apprentice, or whatever that verb is called for being the sub.
Yes, please do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it today, Azimuth.
Goodbye.
Wow. That was not really what I was expecting. But you know what? That reminds me of another interview that I was really not expecting. This next interview was so shocking. Frankly, I was not prepared for it. This was with Mr. Whiskers, and I did not even realize that they were a witch at first. So here we go.
Hey, how's it going? Mr. Whiskers here, America's favorite cat that poops outside the box.
Man, I am so excited and fascinating to meet you, Mr. Whiskers. Thank you for taking the time. So, just gonna dive right in here. You are a cat who is a witch. So please explain to me, were you always a cat? Were you turned into a cat? I have so many questions, so please just take it from the top.
Oh, I've got all the answers, sweetheart. Let me tell you all about it. First, let me get some nachos up in here. Anyways, I was born a man. My human name is Tony, and I owned a little pizzeria called La Piccola Pizzeria. Then one day, you know, this witch walks in, not my wife, another witch. Anyways, her name was Luna, and she comes in and she orders a pizza with pineapple on it. I'm like, that's crazy. I can't do that. So I stopped making fun of her. Well, that was a big mistake. I woke up 2 days later in a misty vista, and she was sipping on a whiskey mixer. And I looked at her right in the eye, and I said, what have you done? And I looked down and I see these big, beautiful paws below me. And that's when I knew, oh, Tony's changed. Now I've been going by Mr. Whiskers ever since.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. How long ago did this happen?
Oh, this would happen about 10 years ago or so. But, you know, I got to say it's pretty good. You know, I never really liked using toilets, and I feel liberated.
That's amazing. So do you live with your family still, but now as a domesticated house cat, or do you live the feral lifestyle out and about?
Well, you know, this feral cat always has been feral, but I do live with Luna now. And, you know, we've got a happy little home. And unfortunately, she did turn my wife, you know, Tammy, into a cat as well. So I'm stuck with her forever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. So your wife is also a cat now.
Yeah, Mrs. Whiskers. And, you know, she's very demanding. You know, she demands the finest fancy feast.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. That is she able to speak still like a human like you? I mean, I'm sorry, not like a human, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, wow, back it up, bucko.
I'm sorry, you know, would I be able to understand her like she speaks the same way you do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's got a mouth on her, let me tell you, but oh, she drives me wild.
Is Tammy Whiskers, Mrs. Whiskers, is she there with you?
Oh yeah. Let me get her in here. 1 second. Hey,
Great.
Tammy, get your lady paws in here. Damn it. Tony, Mr. Whiskers, I told you I don't like it when you talk to me like that. Who is this?
Tammy, I'm sorry, Tammy. My name is Gary Carson, and I am putting together a docuseries on witches.
Do you
And
work with the IRS?
no, I'm not with the IRS. No.
Okay.
No, I'm a reporter. No, that's so tell me a little bit. I'm very sorry, or congratulations. How do you take this transformation into becoming a cat? Are you pleased?
Gary, look at me. I'm freaking fabulous. I am covered in pink boas. I've got a good life. I get my paws massaged once a day. My best friend Luna, she treats me like a goddess. I'm just stuck with that lug Tony from here on out.
Well, this is amazing. This is so fascinating to me. So you live with Luna, the witch that turned you into the cat that you are today.
The fabulous feline that I am. Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing. So it's been I think Mr. Whiskers said it had been 10 years since he was turned into a cat. Was your change into a cat have something to do with the IRS? You were very accusatory. Again, I'm just going to kind of ask if that has something to do with it.
You're asking a lot of questions, sweetheart. Well, let me just say the pizza business is not lucrative all of the time, and I had to make a little escape.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one way to go about doing it, is to turn into a cat. And has there been any changes with like healthcare, being able to, like, now you're relying on Luna? Did you know them
Well,
before, or like
let's
hadn't seen the
say
kids before?
I do not like thermometers up my butt, but this is something that I have to deal with, and it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay.
Interesting. So is Luna there with you, that I could meet with them to ask them some follow-up questions? And I've got so many more questions to come back to you, and but I just don't want to take all your time.
Oh yeah, it's quite all right. But yeah, Luna's around here somewhere. We
Okay.
can go get her. But is that all that for me? I look very beautiful. I got my fur brush
No,
today.
you are beautiful. I mean, I was going to see if there's any way that maybe I could get your husband back, and if we could get Luna brought on as well.
Tammy,
Yeah.
Tammy,
What, Luna?
I hear my name. Tammy, do you need me?
Luna, this man from questionably the IRS is trying to talk to us.
All right, well, if it's the IRS, I just, I need to say that it is absolutely not.
There's nothing to
But-
see here.
No, there's nothing to see here. We
No.
just run a perfectly normal pizza business, and the pizza business does not at all conflict with my gubernatorial campaign. So I don't know why you would need to, I don't know why you would think about looking at that, or this is
I'm
just a
sorry.
perfectly normal family.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Yeah, I was just thinking this is the most normal thing that I've done today, for sure. No, I'm sorry, there was a misunderstanding. I am not with the IRS. I'm not with the government in any way.
Well, thank God, because I mean, Whiskers, that wouldn't be a problem.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's nothing to see here. If you want to find something exciting, you should go look in my litter box.
No, again, I will take your word for it. Thank you. So Miss Morgill, is this
Morgill.
Yeah. So again, my name is Gary Carson. I really appreciate you taking some time. I am conducting a documentary interview with witches. And I was tipped off that, I was given information that Mr. Whiskers might have some affiliation with witchcraft. And so that was where this all came about. So this is just a platform for individuals who are learning about witchcraft and those who are seasoned professionals. And so if you would be interested, I'd love to take some time to just ask you, what's your story? Tell me your deal. Give me, your little elevator pitch about what it is that you do.
Well, wonderful. And I gotta say, I may not like the IRS, but boy, as a gubernatorial candidate, I do love the press. Who am I?
you.
What do I do? Well, that's an interesting story, and that's actually what brought me on my rise to politics. As you may know, Gary, people are born witches, and I think we're all born a little bit witch. I, however, was adopted, and it wasn't until I was about 32 years old and I did my 23andMe. Gary, as you know, 23andMe completely revolutionized the witch game. I had no idea. I was just a Mormon girl in Colorado amongst my 6 siblings, wondering why I was the only one who could set fires with my brain. And, the 23andMe results came back, and it was 60% British and Irish. No surprise there. 15% German. Again, not really that surprised. 5% Ashkenazi Jewish, which was a little surprised, but cool. And 100% witch. As you know, that is a separate gene.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget 100% fabulous too.
You walk into a pizza place one day and you're having a rough day. You've just been upset with all of this new news, and you turn a man into a cat, and that man becomes your family, and his wife becomes your best friend. And I gotta say, being a witch and fully understanding my power and really understanding the truth of who I am, I wouldn't change it for anything. Absolutely nothing.
You're a beautiful human, Luna.
You are a beautiful cat, Whiskers.
That's so amazing. I'm just so happy to learn of you having this beautiful witch family. So,
And you know, people think that a family only looks one way, you know? And they think that witches only look one way, and witches only have babies to eat them, and witches don't love. I'm here to tell you, witches love. And a perfectly normal family can be one 42-year-old woman and the two former humans she bewitched into being her family.
That's right, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You're beautiful, just the way you are.
And if one person can learn that from my campaign for governor of Colorado, that's all I want. That's all I want.
I love it. And I, you know, as I've been learning about you, I've been doing some Google searching. I love your gubernatorial campaign slogan, "Get witch or die trying." I love it.
Yep.
I think that's amazing and powerful thing. And I wish you all the best with your race. So, just kind of last but not least, is there anything that you wish that we would know to be able to put into our docuseries about witchcraft that you or Mr. or Mrs. Whiskers would like to put out there for the audience?
You know, I think my platform is pretty clear. My promises are pretty clear. The only thing I want everyone to know is vote Luna Moore-Gill for governor. Vote Luna Moore-Gill for governor. Vote Luna Moore-Gill for governor.
Thank you.
Vote Luna Moore-Gill
for governor.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Hey, legalize catnip. Legalize catnip.
Legalize catnip. Legalize catnip. Legalize catnip.
We will do that. Thank you so very much for your time.
Vote Luna.
That was an amazing interview. I still have some questions to follow up about the IRS because I don't really understand what that has to do with the witches. Maybe that's the thing I need to follow up on and try to find out if there's some underlying government conspiracy where they don't allow them to deduct their expenses or something. So this next interview that I had was a very interesting interview with a witch named Griselda. And so I'm going to play this one and see if we're able to get to the bottom of this. Griselda?
Jerry,
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful.
Great. Thank you so very much for taking some time to meet with us. We are performing a docuseries to try to learn a little bit more about the lives of everyday witches.
I saw that, Gary. I saw that right in here. Go on, dear.
That's perfect. Well, great. Well, then you already know what I'm going to ask. So if you would go ahead and just kind of give us a little bit of your backstory. Tell us about yourself.
Well, my backstory, and I'm so glad that you didn't ask about my origin story. You know, I'm as old as Enchanted Rock. You know that, don't you, darling?
Oh, you don't look a day over however old you want to look.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say a day over 100.
Oh.
Yes. I heard you were talking about the IRS, you know, and, you know, all I have to say is shop local.
I do tend to try to shop local whenever I can. So
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. Yes, because Gary, I'm sorry. I'm a bit upset because, you know, I have this shop. It's called the Cauldron. However, this national chain has moved across the street, and right next to it is a big box store, and they're ruining my business.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
Tell me
And
a
I'm
little
going
bit
to have
about
my moon back from the
Oh my
sky.
goodness. Well, before you do anything really extreme like that, tell me a little bit about what you do at the Cauldron business. Do you sell specific items or courses of study?
Candles. This candle, if you burn it, will give you abundance.
Oh,
And then this candle, if you burn it, it will give you romance. You can cast spells with these candles and they will give you anything you want. And on this candle will give you the future.
interesting.
Oh, and this candle, you can change and reorient your past.
Wow. So if I burn more than one candle at a time, will it give me an abundance of romance from my past that I can then parlay into my future?
Well, then what happened in the past and why did you let go of that one that you want to bring to the future?
Gosh, Griselda, that's deep. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, we kind of got off track there. I'm going to come back to you about that though, for sure. So tell me a little bit about how long your store has been in business. And I've gotten the sense from some of the other witches that I've interviewed that they have some troubles working with the government, working with different agencies. Is that a kind of some sort of targeting that's happening to the witches and wizards in America?
That is so spot on. Gary, you're brilliant. Absolutely. Yes, we are targeted. It's called witchism.
Oh no.
And they look at us like we're some kind of foreign specter or something. And you know, it isn't just a conspiracy theory. No, it's reality. They look at us and they wonder, how can they control us? And you know, a witch cannot be controlled. We control the elements, just like Esmeralda, queen of water and fire, and Luna that can change human beings into animals, you know? And of course that Azimuth, well, he's just a darling. He can just train anyone to follow him and follow our path.
That's amazing. So if I really decide that this is for me, this is the life I want to do, I want to go full in, I want to be a witch, I want to do this. Azimuth is the way to go. And then there's a good network of people to help kind of be a support system for me.
Well, darling, I wouldn't call them people. I'd call them witches. I'd call them, we could start you at the level of Wiccan.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And you can Google that, and there's a meetup group here in Austin for Wiccan, and you can start there. But we're not people, honey. We're witches. You know, it's different.
Again, I apologize. I had no idea. Again, I apologize. I don't mean to offend. I embrace my ignorance and am trying to learn all that I can. So one final follow-up question I have for you, Griselda, that we can hopefully, and again, I'll let you clarify the question as you see fit, but you had mentioned that you had been doing this for quite some time. Could you tell me how you started your journey of being a witch?
I was a sparkle in my mother Gaia's eye. I was born that way. I was like a burst of a rocket of desire that flickered across the sky like a falling star. And darling, I landed on Enchanted Rock and there I was.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great metaphor / actual story.
Real. It's real. It's real, Gary. And
That's
you know, there are some very amazing people, other witches, and you know, there's Strega Carmelina that's available to talk with, and he can give you details. And of course, Esmeralda really is one of the queens of the coven.
That's Awesome. Well, again, thank you so very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And if it's okay with you, I might reach back out to you if I have any follow-up questions.
Gary, anytime. And if you want to explore that question of hypersexuality with witches, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, everyone. I'm really, really happy to report that this all seemed to lead me down a lot of very unique and interesting paths, but nothing could have prepared me for this next interview that I had. Whenever I was tipped off that I needed to speak with Strega Carmelina, I did not know who that was. I thought, well, I'm gonna have to Google this and figure this person out. And there are no words, so I'm just gonna play this interview for you. Hello, is it Strega Carmelina? Hello? Is this Strega?
Esmeralda! Esmeralda!
I have been summoned by Okay, I hear you. He needs a translator, so I'm translating for him.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, Esmeralda, you may not remember me. I'm Gary Carson. I just was circling back, interviewing with other folks, and I had some questions for Strega Carmelina.
He does not feel you're respecting him yet. You must stand up and go round 3 times and bow to him 3 times.
Okay. All right. We will stand up and bow. There we go. So my first question for Strega is a little bit of their backstory. If they could tell me a little bit about how they first became a witch.
He says that his parents met at a concert in 1972. It was a Journey concert, and they made love under a blanket in the amphitheater, and he was born. He's popped right out of his mother's uterus right there at the concert. That's how they knew he was magical, because it was instantaneous.
That's incredible. So they didn't stop believing as soon as the baby just came out right then and there. That's awesome. So Strega, did you start expressing magical capabilities at a young age then, besides the fact that you were able to instantaneously be born?
He says within his first hour, he was walking and talking as he does in his own language, and that he was able to do a spell on all of Journey, the band, so that they would forever be in everyone's mouth, all of their words. They rose right to the top.
That's incredible. I really am happy to. So how long have you been in Austin?
He has been in Austin for 13 years. He was driven out of his community in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. They drove him out and he fled all the way to Austin.
Goodness, I'm so sorry.
That's it, Doctor.
Oh, he is so sad. His best friend Bob lived in Madison, and it was the one person he felt who understood him finally. Yeah.
Mom.
Do not cry. Do not cry, Strega.
I'm so sorry to hear that. So Strega, I have a question, and now Esmeralda, circle back with you, can maybe help out with this. One thing I've picked up on a lot of my interviews is there is a lot of gig economy that goes along with witches and wizards. Is that an issue that has caused you to be treated differently than you think other folks have been treated?
Strega is very upset, very upset.
Oh.
The government's monetary system. Okay, I know, I understand. The government's monetary system is oppressive. It takes us under their fist and crumbles us down into something that we are not. And we are not free to just live our lives and spend our money. Do not cry, Strega. It is a very hard life. I am sorry, Strega.
I'm very sorry. I hope I didn't bring up something that was a sore subject. I didn't know. I'm just trying to educate people to teach them about the things they don't know.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. So it seems as though one of the main instigators and agitators against the individuals in the witch community is the Internal Revenue Service.
I am sorry, Gary. Strega has just put a curse on you. He felt that you were talking about the IRS way too much, and I'm sorry, you are. You will not be the same person tomorrow.
Oh my! Well, that seems excessive. It was just a misunderstanding. I'm trying to learn so that way we can educate people that you are not going to be mistreated by the agency of which we do not speak their name.
He's so sorry. No takesies backsies.
Oh shit! So it can't be undone? Oh my god! This is. Oh my god!
Oops.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear this, but hopefully we can figure out a way to work something out, and we can figure out a solution. So Strega, independent of my pending transformation tomorrow, where I won't be the same person I am today, is there anything else that you want us to know about?
He says, vote for Luna and make catnip legal.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Esmeralda, I'm going to follow up a quick question for you. I see that you have a cat walking around behind you there. Is that one of the relatives to Mr. Whiskers, or any of the?
That is my child. I birthed this cat. It was very painful, very painful.
Again, I can only imagine. I'm very. Congratulations. How old is your cat child?
300.
300 years old. Wow, that's amazing.
That is 2100 in cat years.
Cat years. Okay, I'm glad that works. That math works the same way. So, again, Strega, is there anything else that I need to do? Any follow-up leads that you can imagine that I should go back to?
Nah.
He says no.
Okay. All right. So Should I do anything, Esmeralda, that you can think of to prepare for my life tomorrow when I get transformed into something else? I know you mentioned there are many deaths and many lives in the past, and so I
You
just
must strip all of the floorboards out of your parents' basement, and you must board up all of the windows and doors, and you must put the lights out and lay in the dark naked on the floor until you become your new self.
That's right. Nudie Tootie Fresh and Fruity is going to be happening. So any day now, I got the contractor lined up to come bust up the concrete for me. So we'll be good to go. So, well, again, thank you so very much for all of your time, Strega, Esmeralda. Thank you for your time. And Strega, I'm once again apologetic. I'm so very sorry that I have upset you. If there's any way that I could make it up to you, I'm happy to. If you need me to put a good word in with anybody, just, tell Esmeralda and she can let me know before I transform into whatever I'm going to be tomorrow.
Goodbye, he says.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, everyone. As you can tell, I think we're onto something major. This group of individuals seems to have some sort of paranoia about letting foreigners and outsiders into their information. And I just don't really know exactly what to do except to postpone the rest of this interview until a later time when I can circle back and get some more information. Hopefully I'm not transformed tomorrow, and I can circle back and be able to do a better job of getting to the root of what's really causing these individuals to be so skeptical. So until we get more information, we will just put this on the back burner. And until then, we're going to come back here with our host, and we'll see what we can get done. I'm just going to pause this until a later time. Okay. Man, I don't know what to do about this.
Oops. All right, and that is our show. Gary, that was some great interviewing. So it's been really great seeing some of the inside lives of these witches.
Yeah, it was a really, really interesting piece of work that I feel like I did. I'm hopeful that we can get this picked up and it can be the next Tiger King. I really think there are some really interesting and unique perspectives that we can put out there. And I'm very concerned for these people as individuals. They're very worried about the government and how it's interacting with them.
The thing I really took away from that was, witches are just like you and me. They're worried about the same things we are. They're all around us. You probably know a witch out there. So, be kind, because if you're not, apparently you'll get cursed. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen to you, Gary, because I suspect it's going to be weird.
Yeah, I don't think it will be normal. I'm sure you're right.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're doing shows every Wednesday and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Please tell your friends, follow us, subscribe if you want, and come back and see more. It's a different thing every time. So who knows what we're doing next time? Please check us out. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.